You know him, you love him, you want some more of him. The Voiceover Doctor, a real smooth talker. The Voiceover Doctor Show.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Voiceover Doctor Show. My name is Bill Holmes. I am the Voiceover Doctor. Thank you very much for joining us. I apologize. We haven't done a show for quite some time. Over the summer, I got a little busy, took some trips, and, a lot of projects in the works. Nothing. I just went on vacation. I'd like to introduce a producer, director, writer, and voiceover actor, fine voiceover actor in his own right, Mr. Tony Oliver, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Let's give Tony a big round of applause. Thank you, everyone here, the studio audience. So, Tony, you've been doing this for how many years?
Over 30 years.
Really?
Over 30 years. I started in the early 80s. I started working professionally as an actor back in the late
porn,
70s.
I'm guessing? Or?
No.
Really?
No, it didn't have
That's,
the...
I'm sorry. This interview is going, because that was a different Tony Oliver.
Different Tony, yeah.
All right,
yeah.
I got to fix that.
It happens all the time.
I'll try to come up with some other questions for you. Listen, I got to ask you first off, are you thirsty?
Oh, parched.
Would you like a drink?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I got somebody here.
Oh, cool.
Margarita? Oh, Margarita, would you like to... This Margarita will bring us a drink.
Oh, cool.
Now it's,
nice show.
oh.
Ah,
A little full.
very good.
Oh.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
Is it?
There you go,
Yeah.
Mr. Holmes.
No, thank you, Margarita.
Thanks.
Didn't expect...
Nothing
well,
for
this is
me.
great. This is
Nothing for me.
fantastic.
Man, it's
Just
good,
have a
yeah.
couple of drinks here and...
I talk better if I'm sober, so.
Actually, I'm kind of interviewing Tony right now, so I mean I appreciate you bringing the drinks in and everything, but we got a show to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when I said I'd come by, I thought,
No, I just needed some drinks. Appreciate it though.
yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Anytime,
Yeah.
Tony.
Yes.
Thanks.
Nice seeing you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
So here we go. So on with the interview.
Yeah.
Tony Scott. Listen, we're gonna Tony Scott. I just called you Tony Scott.
Well, whatever floats the boat. I like the drink.
I'm
though.
guessing that's his porn name. Okay, Tony Oliver is my guest today. We're going to take a little break and we'll be right back. I'm sorry about the whole porn thing.
It's all right.
Hey, you guys should come to the Coley Nights because you get to meet Bill Holmes, you get to have some really good drink and jerk food, and you get to meet a lot of voiceover people.
Let the ladies and the gentlemen be as rude as they like. On the beaches or in the jungle, where the people feel alright.
051.
So do it in Jamaica, got plenty for you and me. Honky tonk with my baby in the deep blue sea. Come on, Jamaica, in Jamaica all day, dancing with my darling to Jamaica, jerk off that way. Come on, Jamaica, everybody say we all happy in Jamaica, to Jamaica, jerk off that way.
Okay, we're back. We are back with Tony Oliver. And again, producer, director, writer, and voiceover actor. Now, you work at a company called TB Entertainment now?
Well, that's my company. So
That is
that's,
your
yeah, that's
company.
my company. So that's kind of how I present myself to the world.
Okay.
But
Well, now-
but I freelance and do independent work pretty much anywhere. Anyone who wants to pay me.
And
I'll give you my number
We're
when
in
I'm done.
cyberspace here
Yes.
now. You can, yeah, if we can put your number at the screen
right
at
at
the
the
bottom.
bottom, yeah, that's
Here's
it.
his number right here. Okay.
Show business. We're all whores.
Now here's the thing. You and I met
Mm-hmm.
briefly down at the Voice 2012 convention
Yes.
in Anaheim, California,
Yeah.
at the happiest place on earth.
It was cool.
Disneyland. And so we really didn't know each other that well. We met through some mutual friends and stuff. And then you helped me out doing some directing at a little margarita gathering that we had. So thank you for that. I always appreciate that. So, I didn't really get to ask you, how did you get started? I mean, you started as an actor first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started as
tell me about that.
I started as a stage actor in L.A. doing musicals mostly. So I sing.
And of course, that stage career in L.A. I mean,
Which
you can
means-
make tens of dollars a week.
Yes, and I didn't even do that. but I started. I want to be an actor, and so I started out doing stage work.
Are you
and
from here?
I grew up in Los Angeles. Grew up in Northridge. Actually.
Okay, all right.
And
So I wasn't really far off about maybe the porn thing.
no. That's the next post office over. Yeah.
Okay, all right, sorry. I promise I won't bring it up again. He really didn't. This is something I made up, everybody. Just I want to set the record straight for you and the grandchildren.
So anyway, I was out of work perpetually, as most actors
Mm-hmm.
are in LA, and I did a little bit of TV work. I did some touring children's theater. I did whatever anybody could, whatever I could get. And I saw an ad in the trades, and it's now called Backstage West, but at the time it was called Dramalog.
Dramalog, right? Yeah.
And I saw an ad in Dramalog that said they were looking for people who sounded like they were under 18, but who were over 18 because
Okay.
of the labor laws, and who had ADR experience. And
Now, ADR stands for
automated dialogue replacement.
Thank God somebody finally told me that. Never knew that. All
So it's
these
dubbing.
years. Yeah,
It
dubbing.
was a foreign
Yeah.
dubbing job. And so I had done a student film where I
Okay.
got to dub one line of mine. So I wasn't entirely lying when I said, "Oh yes, I have
I've
experience."
got experience in
Yeah,
that.
but I lied. And I auditioned. And I got this little voiceover, this little background doing bits and Walla, the background stuff,
Okay.
for a Louis Malle film. Have you ever
Now,
seen-
again, just for people who don't know, Walla work is you go in and you provide the voice of, say, some people in the background.
in the background,
of a scene.
it's group work. You're in
Yeah.
a group with a group, and you're the guys talking in the
Right.
background, where behind the.
So there's a
background.
Walla.
Walla, yeah.
Okay. All
This
right,
was
so-
Louis Malle film.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen a Louis Malle film, well, you want to shoot yourself when you're done with it because it's just the most depressing thing ever. But they liked what I did.
Yeah.
So they dragged me out of that room and they took me into another studio and they read me for this feature. I had no idea what it was, but it was this animated feature. And they, idiots, gave me the lead.
Really?
Yeah. So
Now, is this something we would have heard of now? or-
if you're the anime world, you might have. It's called
Okay.
The Sea Prince and the Fire Child. It actually was just re-released about a year ago.
the Sea Prince
and the Fire
Child.
It's very much a Romeo and Juliet movie by
Okay.
it was really beautiful. Sanrio did it, and the
Okay.
Tokyo Symphony was and this ended up on television.
Oh,
And about a year and a half later, I get a phone call from some guy who says, "Are you the voice of blah 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 from Sea Prince and the Fire Child?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Well, come on in. We have a paid audition for you," which is like unheard
so
of.
they're gonna. Now, how old are you at the time?
I'm 23, 24.
And they're gonna pay.
No, excuse me. I'm about 25 or 26.
They're gonna
excuse me.
pay you to come in.
Yeah, what
and
they actually
audition.
wanted me to do was they came in and they had a Japanese soap opera that they
Okay.
were dubbing. So they had me play a part, and that was the audition. But they were paying me for that time, but
Yeah.
it was really the audition. And they gave me a part, and they said, "Oh, it's just 3 episodes of this thing. It's not going anywhere. It's called Macross." And that's fine. So we did it. It's not going anywhere. A few weeks later, I get a phone call. We just sold a 60-episode series based on this thing. We changed the name to Robotech, and that was my first series, and I was the leading character in Robotech.
Okay, now again, I'm really ignorant when
Again,
it
it's
comes
anime.
to the anime world. I've not been in it myself. So is Robotech now is a big deal?
Yeah, Robotech was a breakthrough show
Okay.
for anime. It was the first anime where they actually admitted it was from Japan.
Okay.
That to make it on in major syndication, so it was syndicated all across the country.
All right.
It was a big deal. It got really well rated.
And this is in the 80s?
It was in the 80s, 1984,
Okay.
85. No,
All
84,
right.
because 85. So my daughter was born right in the middle of recording that. So it's the only session I ever missed. It's like, I'm not coming in. My daughter's coming out.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be in this afternoon.
Yeah,
but-
no. Not if I wanted to stay married. And so that ended up on television, and that's kind of what started my career in voice work.
So, I mean, so really you kind of fell into it.
Don't we all?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is.
No.
I personally, I fell into a hand modeling career that way.
Really?
I was at my agent's office. She goes, "Let me see your hands," and I do. She goes, "Go over here," and I got the job, and I was a hand model
Wow.
for a number of years.
You're the only hand model I've ever met.
Well,
Are they insured?
no, look, they don't even match.
Oh,
The old hand modeling joke. Oh, Jesus, I can't believe I did that. So Robotech, you did Robotech.
So Robotech came out at about the time I had another child. You know, my second child was born, and so I was looking for other ways to make a living. So I actually left the business for a little while, right about the time I was recording that. So I'd actually moved out of town to do radio. Up in Bakersfield. Yeah.
You know, the radio
in
capital of the world.
See, I've made some great choices in my life.
When I think radio, I think Bakersfield market.
But I was actually in sales and production, so I was selling airtime and producing commercials, which is how I learned.
So you weren't on the air?
No. Well, I did an air shift as a fill-in on the
Okay.
Sunday, but it was an automated station, so I'd pre-recorded on Friday.
Oh, I
and
see.
We'd air it
Okay,
over the
all right.
weekend.
Yeah.
Because I never trained to be a disc jockey. I don't know.
Yeah,
how to do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It was like, you know, read the card and let the record go through. But that kind of started teaching me how to write. Because I had to write commercial copies. So you learn how to write with, you know, economy of words, how to get
Yeah.
a whole idea done in about 30 or 60
And
seconds.
with some of the worst products probably in the world.
Yeah.
Because you're in a Bakersfield market.
Yeah, and especially when I had clients that wanted to do their own commercials. And it was like, really? You
Yeah.
can barely speak English and you want to do that.
Come to Smith Funeral Home where they're dying to get
Oh, they
in.
had funny combinations there. I had a client, I swear to God, Eli's Clock
Okay.
and patio furniture. They sold expensive grandfather clocks
Yeah.
and
And
patio
furniture. And occasionally there was a grandfather clock that would fold out into a chair.
I
to a
really wanted to
chaise
see
lounge.
that. I really wanted
Yeah,
to see
that would have been good.
Yeah, it would have been. That would have been. So I learned how to write there, and in the meantime, I stayed in contact with the anime folks down here, and Saban Entertainment had come online about that point. So I started writing anime scripts remotely from Bakersfield.
Okay.
To make extra money,
Yeah.
and so I wrote on a show called Macron One. which
Now
ended
this
up
is
on-
for who again?
This was for Saban Entertainment.
Okay.
Because they had pretty much stolen. I'd been working for a company called Harmony Gold before that.
Oh yeah.
And Harmony and Saban pretty much stole all of Harmony Gold's people.
Really?
So, yeah, they just paid them more. And so
Not
I started.
really steal. They just,
They
you
just,
know.
yeah, paid them more. So I started doing a little bit of writing for them, and eventually, at some point, they offered me a job as a story editor, which is funny because I started writing because my wife wanted to write. She was a writer.
Okay.
And
Is she still?
No, not
No?
much. She's
Okay.
she runs a travel agency now.
And she had all them children.
And she had kids.
Yeah.
And this is one way for her to make a little money staying at home while I was
Right.
working. But at one point, she couldn't really finish a script. Because what she would do is she would write the content, and then I would make it sync,
Right.
since I had that experience.
Right.
And eventually, there was one point there was some family crisis. She couldn't finish it. We needed the money, so I finished it. And I realized I got a bit of a knack at this.
Yeah.
So they offered me a story editor job at Saban for about twice what I was making up there. And so I kissed Bakersfield goodbye
Oh man.
and ran
That's
as
too
fast
bad.
as I could back to L.A.
That's too bad.
And started working as a story editor for some anime that Saban was doing. And all
Okay.
this stuff ended up on Nickelodeon, shows like Noozles and Maya the Bee and
I've
Wowzer.
heard of Maya the Bee.
Yeah, all
I've
these
heard of
these were on Nickelodeon. We had kids around that
Now, for
time.
those kids out there, Saban Entertainment is, which we're probably going to get to soon, is the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's their big thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's what happened. I moved up there.
Uh-huh.
I still continue to do voice work. In fact, I was the voice for all their stuff on Bobot, which was a distributor.
Mm-hmm.
So I did stuff like Saban's Little Mermaid will be right back right after this. I did a lot of that and little voices here and there. And I
Now,
was
people probably thought that was actually a cartoon, but it was actually Saban's Little Mermaid. He had one in a tank at
Yes,
home.
a little tank.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a very wealthy and eccentric man. No, no,
She ran out for a coffee. Saban's Little
was-
Mermaid will be back in a moment.
she was
Yeah.
only this big.
Really? Now, I would have thought she was a little bigger than that. He actually paid Daryl Hannah.
Yes, yes.
What is that, a girl in a suit? I want her.
I want
yeah.
her, yes.
Yeah.
Bring her down.
I probably shouldn't make fun of Saban.
No,
Okay.
he was very nice to me.
Yeah, but
But,
he's a powerful guy.
He is, and continues to be.
Yeah.
So I continued to do that stuff, and I kind of grew there as a producer. I started writing a lot of shows. I became a head writer on some shows, and I ended up on their development team, which means every so often they were trying to develop a show, like when they did Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh, okay. all
And
right.
Saban's Little Shop. He would grab a bunch of us in the development team. We get together and we fire off ideas, and then somebody would go off and take care of it.
Right.
And so one day I got called in as part of the development thing, and Chaim comes in, and he's very, triple A personality, Israeli man. He says, "I want you all to watch this." So we watched this weird show with all these guys in spandex jumping around, and latex monsters and explosions, and myself and Ellen Levy Sarnoff, who was the development executive at the time, we're watching this. My mouth is agape, and he leaves, and he finally comes in the room and says, "So what do you think?" And we're going, "Well, what do you mean?" He says, "I want you to," and he tells us what he wants us to do is take all of the footage that doesn't look like it's from Japan.
Right.
So take out any kanji, cars driving down the left, crowds of Asian people running down the street screaming, and take what's left and build an American show around that, about teenagers and who turn into superheroes.
Okay.
And I don't know if I said it or thought it, but I said, "You're out of your fucking mind."
That idea is going nowhere.
But, I work for the man,
Yeah,
and
of course.
He's paying me good money, so
Yeah.
I said, "So no, do it." So we went and did it, and, once we started to roll through it, I realized that, this was something.
Now this was the development
The genesis
of
Power Rangers, yeah.
Okay.
So we took a bunch of this footage, we took all the Asian footage out, we slapped it all together with no story,
Yeah.
threw a rock and roll soundtrack underneath it.
Yeah.
I don't even think we put sound effects on the damn thing. And they sent it off to a focus group in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
And it came back, the kids went ape shit
Really?
looking at this stuff. There was all it was.
Well, I have to say, my kids were of the age
Yeah.
when that was on, and they couldn't get enough of
Yeah.
it. They could not get enough of it. My wife and I would sit there and go, "Really? Really? This is what you want to watch?"
People were laughing at me because
Yeah.
they're going, "How can you watch this?" I said, "I find it completely unwatchable, but it's my job to make it."
Yeah.
So, I watch it.
Yeah.
So we start working on the show. I wrote the pilot, about 9 different versions of it before we finally settled on the one.
That's great.
I got phone calls on holidays from Hayam asking if Squat and Babu should talk or just make noises like blah, 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 it was just a bizarre thing, but I'm developing a network television show,
Yeah.
And
again, you don't know if he's talking about somebody who's with him or the show itself.
yeah, that's true. That's
Squash
true.
and Baboosh, come here.
Yeah.
Come over here.
And the editor that I work with is a good friend of mine still. We're still good friends. Who had helped me edit the first season's worth of Japanese footage out.
Yeah.
He actually looked at me, because this was before we started shooting, and he looks at me and says, "The day I can turn my TV set on Saturday morning, and see this show on Fox television is the day I'll kiss your ass in public."
And what public place did you go to?
Well, I let him off the hook, but the day it premiered, I get the phone rings, I pick it up, he goes, "Where and how, when?"
That is funny. That's a funny story.
And it took off. It became a huge hit.
Yeah.
And I did that for like 3 years. I worked on the show almost exclusively for 3
Now,
years.
and you wrote, you directed as well?
I never directed. I
you never
directed some. I
directed?
directed some of the home video stuff. Like there's a home video reel special called "The Good, the Bad, and the Stupid,"
Okay.
which I wrote and directed.
Okay.
And then there was a special towards my end of my tenure at Saban. We took the pilot, which never aired because it was just considered way too violent.
Oh.
It was, because we had the Power
Yeah.
Rangers were not just, they were kicking ass.
Yeah, they were killing
roundhouse
people.
Kicks,
Yeah.
roundhouse kicks to humans.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we edited that down and actually played it. My last show I did at Saban was Power Rangers: The Lost Episode, where I brought in a couple, because it was only 16 minutes long.
Yeah.
So I took some of the former Rangers and they hosted it, and it was a big deal, and actually got huge ratings. So that's and when I left there, I jumped back into voice acting.
Yeah.
Because it was available to me. Anime was exploding at the time. I had
Yeah,
an anime background,
exactly.
and I couldn't. Nobody else knew me around except for Rangers, so I kind of had to work my way back into the business.
Well, I do want to say I appeared on Power Rangers. We were talking earlier. I have a $3.23 check in the back right now.
I feel so good because I got like $5, so I beat you.
Oh yeah, you're kicking my ass when it comes to Power Rangers. But I was the voice of a cell phone that mutates itself into a monster.
Yeah.
So I was the voice of the cell phone monster. Pretty big day in my career. So listen.
Hey, you work.
No,
Work's work.
Hey, it was union, and I got residuals. That's a beer in the back. So listen, we're gonna take a little break, and then we'll come back. I'm gonna get my notes in order here. We'll come back and we'll talk more with Tony Oliver, all about the anime world, because that's kind of why I wanted to have you on the show. I don't know a lot about it, but there's so many people out there interested. So we will be right back.
This holiday season, bring home a new twist on a timeless story. Introducing an all-new radio drama, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Relive the classic tale featuring the voice talents of Maurice LaMarche as Scrooge, Rob Paulson as Cratchit, Neil Flynn, Robbie Rist, Quentin Flynn, and introducing Elon Garfias as Tiny Tim. A Christmas Carol, produced by Shane Salk and William Holmes, directed by William Holmes. Order your copy today at Amazon.com and the iTunes Store.
Okay, so make sure you go out and buy your CD copy. I don't even know what the hell I'm hawking. Your CD copy of A Christmas Carol, starring Maurice LaMarche, 2-time Emmy winner, Rob Paulson, okay, and a guy named Neil Flynn. A guy named Neil Flynn. He's in this too. So make sure you get a copy. Christmas is around the corner. They make a great stocking stuffer. Also, we have a Spanish version. In Habla Español. Did I say that right, Gio? Yeah? Okay. How would I say the Spanish version of A Christmas Carol? How would I say that?
La versión en español de...
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't say it. All right, we're back with Tony Oliver. And it's my assistant, Gio Ortega, over here, ladies and gentlemen. And we were talking about the Power Rangers. And now on the break here, you told me that you actually appeared in the Power Rangers.
Yeah, I did a bunch of monsters here and there, but
what was the most famous voice you did on Power Rangers?
It was Saba.
Saba?
Tommy's talking sword. Saba, the talking sword.
Okay, now, when you talk about Tommy's talking sword, Saba.
We're not going back to the point.
I'm not going back there. I told you, see, I didn't mention it. You brought it up now, see. But you got to think I'm the voice of Tommy's talking sword. Okay.
He really knows how to morph.
I bet he does. He's like, ooh, Saba, are you lying? Write your own jokes. Okay, now... okay, here's so you played one of the characters on it.
Yeah, actually,
on camera.
Well, I did an on-camera appearance. There was when the Power Rangers went to Australia to shoot the movie, the first movie. It was shot in Australia. It was done by 20th Century Fox. We had nothing to do with it, but they weren't going to make it back in time to do episodes for Sweep. So I had to go out there ostensibly to record the ADR for it.
Yeah.
Because we still had November sweeps, and they're out there shooting a damn movie.
Yeah.
So I rented a studio in Sydney. They sent me out there. It was cool. I was supposed to be out there for 3 weeks. But I get out there, and the production is not going smoothly. So Chaim asked me to stay. You know, pay attention to my baby. They don't want to ruin my baby. You know, this was the golden goose for us.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure it didn't get, messed up. And so... And it was way behind schedule, so the Power Rangers were not going to be, the cast was not going to be able to come home in time to shoot episodes for February sweeps.
Okay.
So I get a call from Shuki, I'm coming into the country, you have to stay, we have to shoot episodes there.
In
Australia.
Okay.
So the movie went on a 2-week hiatus while they retooled in order to get themselves together. And so I found locations, Shuki and I wrote the episodes in our hotel rooms.
Yeah.
But we needed to hire a local actor, and it was there was union issues and all that stuff we had to deal with, so he didn't want to do that too much. So he turns to me and says, "You play the villain."
Yeah.
I said, "I can't play the villain. I mean, I know we're out of the union jurisdiction, but still. And so we'll put you in a mask."
Oh, okay.
So that's what they did. We bought a mask. We put me in this huge mask, and I played the Wizard of Deception.
And rightly so, because you were in a mask.
I was in a mask.
Yeah, so in real life, you were the Wizard of Deception.
Yeah, and meantime, I'm having to negotiate with the union out there. Because Power Rangers I was the guy that signed the contract to unionize Power Rangers in Australia.
Yeah.
So I'm negotiating with the union. And there's pictures of me, because I had to black my eyes and my hands and all this stuff for the mask, with the thing off on the cell phone, having an argument with the union rep.
So you look like a raccoon.
It was just an odd thing, and the crew never quite, because we hired a local crew, they never quite figured out. Yeah. So are you an actor or a producer, or what the hell are you?
And basically you said, I work for Savant.
They shut up when they realized I was the guy that paid them.
Oh, okay. Then they left you
As soon as I started handing out money, they were cool with whatever I was doing.
I like that. Now, you also mentioned to me that now a good friend of the show and a friend of mine, Richard Horvitz, actually worked on Power Rangers. Now he was the voice of
Alpha 5.
Alpha 5. That was like a little robot.
Who's the robot? The assistant
robot
to Zordon.
guy. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So now Richard was just on this show. He was the last guy I had on the show, and he talked a lot, and he dropped a lot of names about everybody. But he didn't mention Power Rangers to me.
Well, he's a much bigger star now than he was. You know, he does like big stuff now. You know, but
Yeah,
back
the
then-
Fruit of the Loom grape guy. Yeah, okay.
I'll take it.
No, I will too. I would take it too. I wouldn't be the green grape, but the purple grape I would bring. Yeah. So what was it like? Only because we've had him on the show. Talk a little bit
Well,
about
it's interesting 'cause
directing Richard Horvitz.
Well, Richard was great to direct because he's
Really?
he's nuts. He's
Yeah,
nuts.
he is
He'll
nuts.
give you whatever you want plus.
Yeah.
And although it was very funny because there was a couple times where we were trying to move along very quickly, and sometimes I get kind of I like to when I direct with as few words as I can get away with.
Yeah.
Because the less I have to tell the actor, the faster we go, and the less they get confused. Quite
Yeah,
frankly.
well,
I want
exactly.
them to bring what they have to
Exactly.
the table, not what I want them.
That's a very
so
good
we
way of
were
directing.
going through and we hit a line. I go, okay, that's fine, moving on. And one more line. I said, fine, moving on. And finally, he says, stop. He says, I'm acting my ass off here, and all you're going to give me is a fine? Fine, that's it?
Really?
Yeah, he was joking with it, but it was.
That doesn't sound like Richard at all.
But how he got the part was very interesting.
Oh, tell me about that.
We were shooting we just finished shooting the pilot.
Yeah.
And we'd been editing in offline. You do offline first and get it all together before you go and do the final edit. This is back in the days of tape. There was
Tape?
no
Tape?
digital computering. All
Actually,
this
we're on tape right now.
stuff. Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I don't do tape.
Oh, sorry. Damn it! I shouldn't have said.
And so we were watching the playback of the second or third cut with Chaim Saban in the room. It's about 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And we're going through and a little argument between me and the director on how one scene should be cut, and I won. And and so he goes, as Chaim starts saying, well, what are we going to do about this Alpha 5? What's he going to sound like? What's he going to... And the editor turned around and says, well, I got a buddy who's a voice actor.
Yeah.
And Chaim says, well, call him. So he called him, and Richard came down at 10:30 at night. He comes down, and we showed him the character, and Chaim says, well, what you going to do? And he kind of starts doing, he says, well, ay, and he starts doing the character, and Chaim says, you're hired. That was it. That's how he got the part.
For all you kids
And he was
over
brilliant,
there.
and he was brilliant. the
Well,
whole
for all
time.
you kids out there, you just have to be available late at night when Chaim Saban calls you. That's how you break into the business.
In general, with anybody calls with a paycheck, you show
Oh, that's
up,
funny.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to talk to Richard about that. About that. So now, what do you prefer most? Do you prefer writing? Do you prefer directing? Do you prefer acting? What?
It's an interesting thing because writing is what I've had to do most in the last 10 or 12 years in terms of steady living, and it's my least favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
I mostly adapt, which means I'm taking translations and adapting them into English in order to make it work with the pictures because of anime, because I work mostly in anime. I think I find the same joy in directing as I do in acting.
Okay.
So it's kind of a toss-up. These days I like to direct because I like the control.
Right.
And I like to work with people who are better than I am. Because I learn from them. I learn an awful lot from them.
Yeah.
So I know it's kind of it depends on the day. Which
Yeah.
one do I like more? But it's the acting, directing, kind of in between.
Yeah.
I direct more than I act these days, but that's just a economic necessity.
Well, yeah. I mean, personally, I prefer directing over
Yeah.
acting these days too.
Yeah.
And it's interesting what you said about you learn from people. I've been directing at casting houses, around LA for a number of years now, and I always tell my students it's I basically I got to steal from the best.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you really do. I mean, you've got the best people coming into this booth, guys like Maurice LaMarche, Rob Paulson, guys like that, and they would do things, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a great idea. I should start doing that. So, do you feel that enhances your directing as well? That when you see a range of actors come in with, with ideas like Richard just came in and started kind of physicalizing it and so on and so forth, do you take things like that and then convey those to other actors as well?
Well, yeah, because when you're working with actors who are especially creative, you see what's possible.
Right.
What's actually possible to get becomes a bigger world. And
All
so
the restrictions kind of get stripped away.
So I can God, when they do this, I feel this as an audience. I want to get you to make me feel this way, and as a director, I have to learn how to, because every actor is different.
Yeah,
you know?
very.
So you have to talk to every actor in a different way.
Yeah.
And being an actor, that helps because I can at least come from where they're coming from, and at least the basis of it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, it does change, and it changes my acting. I mean, one of my favorite voice actors is a guy named Steve Bloom.
Okay.
And Steve was the voice of Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop, and he's now currently the voice of Wolverine and in X-Men, and he's a big time. And he's got this deep, wonderful, full, deep voice, and he's the sweetest guy on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
The nicest guy I've ever met. But I started to kind of learn to mimic him. Now, I have nothing near his voice, because I have a high, tinny, chesty voice. But by learning how he would read stuff, I would bring some of that character into what I was doing.
Right.
And a couple of times I had to go up against him for the same part, and at least once I got it. And I'm just reading
because they needed the tinny Steve Bloom.
How would Bloom read this? You know.
I've actually done that a couple of times myself.
Yeah.
In fact, I had a guy that I did a demo for, and he I probably shouldn't tell this story, but anyway, I won't say what he sounded like or anything, but I actually got him an audition at this casting place because he was perfect for it. And then they said, would you audition for it too? I'm like, yeah, okay. It was kind of a Joe Pesci thing, you know. And so I went in, I thought, I'm just going to do that guy. I've been listening to his demo over and over. He's perfect for it. I'm going to do the guy. Well, I booked it, and he didn't. and then I had the fun of telling him that I did, you know. And so I owed him a drink that night, you know. But it was kind of fun. But it's true. You just kind of morph into that.
Yeah.
Like a Power Ranger.
See, he brought it all together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like doing that. Okay, listen. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll get more into the, for the kids out here in Voiceover Doctor land, the audition process and how you look at people and how, what do you think they need to get a guy like you to, obviously they need somebody who knows the editor.
Or take an acting class.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we'll be right back with Tony Oliver right after this.
Why have a good time in any old t-shirt when you could be wearing these? Voiceover Doctor t-shirts. Everyone is wearing one. Girls are wearing them. Guys are wearing them. Perfect for the everyday nerd. Or athlete. Even the big bad bully is wearing a Voiceover Doctor t-shirt. Wear them with your friends. Or your significant other. Or your significant other. Whoever you are, you'll have to agree. It's for you. And it's for me. The Voiceover Doctor t-shirt. Here's how to order. To get your Voiceover Doctor t-shirt, send your name and address the check or money order for $19.95 to Compost Productions, 2219 West Olive Avenue, Suite 215, Burbank, California, 91506, or call 818-567-1489. Operators are standing by or at least somewhere in the building where they can hear the phone. That's 818-567-1489. Get your Voiceover Doctor t-shirt today.
Okay, we're back with Tony Oliver. We're going to talk a little more about the casting process now for all you kids out there. Now, Tony, are you directing a project currently? Or?
Yeah, currently I'm directing an anime from Viz Media called Nura: The Rise of the Yokai Clan.
See, I have these titles just kill me because I have no idea what they are because I don't watch a lot of anime, unfortunately. So this is this a big movie? Is this
No, it's an animated series.
It's a series.
It's an animated series.
Where might we see this?
It's on Neon. Boy, I don't remember the name. Oh God. Edit.
Finally.
No, it's
finally he doesn't know something about anime. I'm loving it.
It's a new channel, PS3 channel that Viz has just launched. It's called Neon something
or other.
Yeah, and I don't recall what.
You know what? We'll figure it out. We'll put it right there.
Please, right there.
We'll put it right there. Oh, there it is. There it is, right there.
See?
Okay,
go
they
there.
can just read
if you
it
have
now.
a PS3, you can go there and.
You realize I'm
can
not
see
writing anything.
Okay.
Okay, so you're working on that show. What's the process? How does one get into anime? I mean, aside from knowing somebody.
It helps to know someone.
Yeah,
Look,
sure.
it's anime voice acting is ADR, animated dialogue replacement. It's all about dubbing. So the first thing you need to do is learn how to act.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like it's really easy to go into a booth and just play a character, but it's not. You have to be able to convey emotion with your voice, and that's a hard thing to do. Film actors particularly have a difficult time with it because they're so used to being so dark and deep inside.
But I noticed that too.
Yeah.
And TV actors have a hard time.
Camera actors have a tendency. Stage actors seem to do a little bit better just because they're all about being a little bit bigger
more
than life.
animated,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So partly is you need to become an actor first and foremost. The other thing is you need to learn how to use your voice and manipulate it. It's just like regular animation, in that the more versatile you are, the more likely it is you're going to get cast in when you're starting out.
Sure.
Eventually you become known for a voice or a number of voices, but
Now,
at the beginning, playing a lot of little characters is what gets you.
Let me ask you this, though. As a director, what's more important to you, the acting ability or the voice manipulation?
The acting ability, absolutely.
Okay.
Particularly in anime.
So if you could get somebody who can do 2 or 3 different characters, but they're kick-ass actors, okay? Or you could get somebody who can do like 19 voices, but their acting is kind of weak. You would go with the actors?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. One of the big differences between anime and American animation is the depth of the storytelling. In anime, it comes from Japan, so there's a cultural difference. But what's not said is almost more important than what is said by the character. So
Right.
there's a lot of subtext that has to be communicated in the dialogue. Where American animation has a tendency to be a little shallower.
Sure.
I had a great example. I did a show called Gourmedia a couple of years ago where I played the lead villain. It's an American animation. We did it
Okay.
prelay style. All of us are in the room together.
Sure.
I had a couple Ninja Turtles in there and stuff.
Oh,
like that
right,
for
really?
People who were Ninja Turtles at one time.
Now, who Rob?
No.
No?
Earlier incarnations.
Oh, okay. All right.
They, I walked in and I had worked out the character. Because his name was Obscurio, was the name of the character.
Obscurio. Okay.
So, and he was very deep and dark and this sort of thing. So I had all this subtext planned, and I start playing this, and they go, cut. Tony, what the hell are you doing? I said, what? He said, just be loud and pissed off.
Oh, man.
So that's what I did, and they loved it, and that was
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
that was the difference. Okay. That's what I really-
And again, it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson for people out there, because if they say you did all that work, you did all that preparation, but they say be loud and pissed off, and you go, well, these guys are paying me. I may as well
Yeah.
just do what they tell me to do at
Exactly,
that point.
yeah.
You know,
Your job
rather
to-
than push your. It's like, yeah, but I did this and I did this, and you guys got to listen to what I say, right? I mean,
Yeah, I hate. There was an actor I used to work with a long time ago, both anime and other stuff, and every so often he would stop and go, my character wouldn't say this, and I'm going, you know how I know the character would say this? And you go, what? Because it says so in the script.
that's right there, and I wrote it.
So no, your job as an actor is to do what the director tells you. Now, of course, you want to put some input in and you bring some of yourself into the story. And if you want to ask a question, but once you're told this is the way it's going to be, your job as an actor is to do that. That's what you're being paid
Is
for.
to find a way
To make it
that your
work.
character would do that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like when you're working on stage and you get a director says, well, I want you to move over there. And
Yeah.
it makes no sense to you. Well, your
Yeah.
job as an actor is to figure out how to motivate that
Yeah.
movement to get you over there.
Because
so you
that
don't look like an
director's
idiot.
probably thinking, I got that light and it's going to be there, and how the hell can I get him in that light
Exactly.
without having all the technicians move that fucking light? I'm going to put him over here.
Exactly. So it's the same thing. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
breaking into anime is, first of all, you learn how to act. Second of all is, it helps to take workshops sometimes.
Okay.
To get attached to places, to get seen. You got to get your reel into some of the casting places that do it. There's only a few. And a lot of it's a relationship business. It's who you know. Go to an anime convention, meet an actor, give them your demo. Preferably not one that you sound like, so that they don't throw it
Yeah.
away because they don't want competition. And ask around, and it takes a while. It's like any acting job, knocking on a door, knocking until somebody sees you. Learn how to dub. That's important too.
So, I mean, I know you teach some classes.
Yeah.
Do you teach like ADR classes, dubbing classes? Things
Yeah,
like
my
that?
classes are based in anime in games, so I primarily teach dubbing on the beginning workshop.
Okay.
It's the hardest kind of voice acting to do on the technical side because you
Yeah.
have to match lips, you have to match another character's performance, and you have to act and project a voice.
I was going to say, not just match the lips, but match
The emotion.
what the character's doing on the screen and
Yeah,
stuff like that,
yeah.
too.
So I'm.
Yeah, I've done a few of those, in my career, and I really enjoy it.
Oh, it's fun.
I get a real kick out of it.
It's a lot of fun. It also, you don't have to, you're not acting in a void. You at least know what it's going to look like. When
Yeah,
it's done.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Sometimes it looks good. Sometimes it looks kind of crazy.
Yeah.
What would you say is the anime audition process then?
Usually,
You say you've got a project,
Yeah.
and what do you guys do, and how do the actors get to you?
It's not much different. Generally, we'll call the actors we know. I'm sorry, but it's a relationship business.
Uh-huh.
We'll call the actors we know first, And we'll call actors that
So they should come to your house and hang out front and get to know you better? Is
Yeah,
that...
not so much.
No. Everybody, party at Tony's. No.
God, that Norwegian gal that happened to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. It'd be terrible. I'd be run out of my neighborhood. Yeah, so we call those guys, and then we'll call the people that they recommend as well. Occasionally, it'll get opened up to Actors Access, to that casting service.
I'm sorry. So I missed a little of what you said. So you call people you know. If you don't know them, you call the agents. You said.
Well, sometimes they'll recommend the people that we know. Or we
the
call
people
other
you know.
directors. Hey, look, and I get some phone calls. Hey, I need somebody that sounds like this. That can dub? Who do you know?
Okay, I see.
And so it's a little bit like that. Occasionally, like for instance, Bang Zoom Entertainment will run an open audition from time to time.
Okay.
From time to time. Don't call them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You shouldn't have mentioned their name.
Go to Anime Expo next June. They'll have auditions there. I promise you.
You know what? We'll bleep you.
But there's a few places that do that sort of thing. And the process is once you get called in, the first thing we do is we put you a script with a video, and we see if you can dub.
Okay.
So we'll have you dub a couple of lines. Once we know you can do that, then we'll bring in the character, and then the rest of the audition is just like any other voice audition.
Okay.
No picture. We want to hear what your different takes are on the characters.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you a couple of ways to do it, 2 or 3 takes, and we move on. And that's really it. Once we get past the point that we know that you want it, that you're dubbing, that you can dub, then beyond that, we just
So
audition
that's
like regular.
about 50% of the process. Is if you can dub, and then you can act.
If you can do both,
Yeah.
then we can use you.
Yeah.
If you sound right for the character.
Yeah.
So and it's about, again, we look for people who are professional, who care about this, who take it seriously. That this is if they're not doing this full time, this is something they want to do full time.
Now, what about I was going to ask you about demos too. Do you because do you make demos?
Yeah.
Okay,
I occasionally
so
direct.
you
I
make-
occasionally direct character demos.
Okay. So, because people ask me this all the time, the difference between animation, anime, character demos as opposed to, whatever. Do you kind of consider the animation demo is good enough
Yeah.
for you? So if somebody has an animation demo,
Yeah.
that can work just as well.
Yeah, because
So if there's people out there saying, "Oh, you need an strictly anime demo," I mean that's kind of they're full of shit.
well, the problem is that anime isn't one thing.
Right.
There are as many different genre of anime as there are genre of any other kind of media.
Right.
So there's vampire anime and westerns and space operas and all of that stuff. So and it's not something, and you can't show off your dubbing ability on a
Right.
demo.
Right, exactly.
So the animation demo is fine, a variety of characters, and so that we can see what you can do, especially if the characters can convey comedy, emotion, a little drama, just something that shows us that you're not just a voice.
Okay, that leads me to this now,
Yeah.
too, because this is a question I get from people a lot, too. Now, most auditions, anime auditions, what do you get, a page, 2 pages?
5 or 6 lines.
5 or 6 lines. Okay, so maybe a page with 5
Yeah.
or 6 lines. All right, so, excuse me. You get 5 or 6 lines, and there's nothing really explaining what's going on in those lines sometimes. That's my experience is more time than not.
Yeah.
Okay? How can, I know, but I'm asking for everybody else. How can the actor take those 5 lines and give it the variety you need to show the versatility that they have?
It's a great question.
Why, thank you, Tony. I appreciate that.
Look, understand that when you see 5 or 6 lines, and this goes for video games too, because video games you get even less
Yeah.
information about what you're doing. Those 5 or 6 lines are there because the casting director, the producers want to see a variety of emotions. If you don't have any context, you make it up.
Yeah.
Make sure that each line has a different context and a different emotional connection. So you just have to put it in your own story in your own head, and so that this line doesn't sound like this line doesn't sound like this line.
Yeah, because I tend to...
Because they're not asking you to be the perfect character because they haven't given you enough information.
Exactly.
They just want to see what you can do.
Because when I'm auditioning people in the back here, yeah, we do it in the back. What happens is they'll take the 5 lines, and it seems like they're angry throughout the whole scene. So they give me the same thing on each line. And I usually advise them, it's like, this line here, you could break it up. It's like, you can be angry here, but then pull them in and you know, and do it a little quieter and show a little more range. Is that kind of
Yeah,
what you're
exactly.
talking about?
Look for every opportunity you can to make every line count as its own individual piece.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so this one's going to be angry, and this one's going to be angst-filled.
Yeah.
You know, and all of that stuff. So it's your opportunity to show off your acting. You know, if they want a weird character or, you know, a strange voice, they're going to tell you that.
Yeah.
And it'll say so in the description.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, you know what? If they're looking for a really weird voice or something odd, there's about 5 or 6 people in town that they're likely to call before they call you.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
If I need weird animals, I'm going to call Frank Welker.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sorry if you're really good.
Frank Welker does cartoons?
He does cartoons, yeah. Yeah. You know, if I want a strange, weird little nasally guy and it's a union thing, I'm calling Tom Kenny.
Okay.
Okay, so what I need is...
Boy, Richard's going to be happy to hear that.
if I
Richard! You're not watching this. Okay.
But no, there's certain characters that I wouldn't call anybody but Richard because he's a specialist.
exactly,
he does
yeah.
these certain types of things. So you can't compete with those guys.
Right.
So you need to show off your ability to act.
So,
And be a little versatile in your
within
character.
that, within that page of 5 or 6 lines, it's more important. Say you're kind of like, well, I don't really do this. In your mind, it's like I don't really do this particular thing, but I'll put myself into this audition because then would you even consider going, well, you know, Bob Jones isn't right for this, but you know he's really good for this character we have over here,
Exactly.
kind of a thing. And because they're showing off their acting.
Yeah, and anime, especially these days, and somewhat in video games, casting budgets are very low. So they're only really reading the top 5 or 6 characters.
Right.
So, but out of those top 5 or 6 characters, they're going to probably cast the top 10 characters.
Right.
So the better you do, even if you're not exactly right for this, the better you do and the more ability you show here, the more of a chance it is they're going to call you for this smaller role.
Yeah.
And so that helps because those smaller roles pay the same amount of money.
Yeah. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I got a commercial that's going to run soon where all I said was heart health. I can't wait for it to hit the air
God, I
because
love
everybody else had a whole bunch of stuff to say. Okay, listen. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to Tony a little bit more. You're going to be coming, and you're going to be guest directing at my Margaritas, Mojitos, and
Yeah, I can't
Microphones
wait.
night.
Yeah,
And I
especially if they're
believe
like
that's
this.
going to be November 9th. Yeah, it seems like you're warming up to it pretty good here. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll wrap up the show. So we're going to take a little break. We will be right back.
The Voiceover Doctor presents Margaritas, Mojitos, and Microphones. At Compost Productions, we bring in the professionals for you to work with and learn from. Get behind the microphone and be directed by the best so that your performance shines. Mingle with these professionals like Rob Paulsen and Maurice LaMarche, and sometimes even the Doctor himself. And let one of our talented mixologists serve you a margarita. Come join us at Compost Productions for Margaritas, Mojitos, and Microphones. Viva el Voiceover Doctor.
Okay, we are back with Tony Oliver here. Wasn't that a clever little thing you just got done watching? I have no idea what I did wrong. All right, so we were talking about casting. Give me a good casting story. I mean, I have 100 of them. I have 1,000,000 casting stories, and I've told some on the show here. But
Well, when I teach my classes,
Yeah.
I do a class on auditioning, and I talk about the things you do, you know, and you show up professional, show up early, be prepared. When you're done, leave.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
don't hang out.
Get the hell out of there.
Don't ask questions. Just get the hell out of there. Well, I
This
had
is why I like this guy, because he says a lot of the things that I've been telling people and that I think myself.
I had this one guy was casting a movie. That we were dubbing a film from Chinese
Okay.
into English. Wonderful film. If you ever get a chance to see it, it's called Little Sister. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful feature. Anyway, so we were looking for people to dub some of the parts, and we couldn't find it, so we opened it up to Actors Access, and we had people coming in. And so this was the day after St. Patrick's Day. First audition of the day. I was in there at 9 o'clock, and the assistant comes walking in with her eyes wide open and goes, "Your first guy is here." So I go walking out, and out in the lobby is this man with bright red hair, in full leprechaun garb.
You said St. Patrick's Day.
Day
right?
after.
Okay, the day after. Okay.
Yeah, Kelly green jacket,
Yeah.
the shillelagh, the hat with the flower,
The
the
hat
whole
with
bit.
the pilgrim little
Yeah, the whole
squares
thing.
on the feet.
And it's like, and you are, yeah, I'm that guy. So, okay, well, come on. And he says, you got to understand, in my house, St. Patrick's Day is a 3-day event.
Oh.
Which was how he told me that he spent the entire night, probably up until the time he came there, just totally blottoed
Just
and wasted.
drinking.
Yeah, just drinking.
So, I mean,
he
he
says,
was
"So, and I
preparing
really-"
for the role.
Yeah, and so he comes in, and he's like reading for like the king of China or something like that. And so he says, and I really didn't get a chance to go over the copy, but I'm really good at coming up with stuff in the studio. So now he's told me that he doesn't give a shit about my project.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't prepare. But I give everyone a chance. So we walk him into the studio. I'm explaining what we're going to do. I have to, he has to dub a little bit for me first so I can know that he's doing it.
Yeah.
And he's kind of going, this jacket's a little tight on me. Do you mind if I take it off? Going, go ahead, have fun.
Yeah,
But we're
sure.
going to do this. Close him in the booth. I go, now the studio there is set up with me looking forward. The window is to my left.
Okay.
And I don't like to watch the actors because I need to listen
Right,
to them,
yeah.
so I'm not watching him.
Okay.
Engineer's to my right. So I'm really kind of watching him and the Pro Tools rig that he's got there. And we're starting to go through. It turns out, and this guy sucks. He's not very good at all.
It's terrible.
He's not good. I mean, he's
Terrible,
not terrible, but he's
leprechaun.
not good.
Leprechaun Man is not a good actor.
And I look over, and the engineer looks to me, and his eyes go this wide, and his jaw drops. And I look over, and Leprechaun Man has now disrobed from his shirt. He is now there completely shirtless. I'm thinking, if this guy takes off his pants, I'm fucking out of here.
Big red hair, hairy chest.
Oh, yeah. It was not pretty.
The Orange Man.
So now I'm not giving now I'm one take, everything.
Yeah.
Just one take, just get him out the door.
Mind if I take my jacket off?
So okay, we're done. You can get dressed
Yeah.
again. So, but before I could tell the guys in the next room, they had already scheduled him for another audition for another project. So before I could tell them, the guys already come back and, oh, we're ready to go. Will you direct the audition? And I told the guys, no.
Yeah, no.
You're on your own. I'm going outside. So
Because now you need a stiff drink.
Yeah. So I go outside, and they do whatever, and fine. So I come in, I get my next actors through, and I come out about an hour later, and the studio guys come up and says, guy's still here. He wouldn't leave. He in the green room, they have a little computer in the back.
Yeah.
With for email for the actors,
Yeah.
and he was back there doing his email. And it's like, get the fuck out of here, So, and the bottom line, and they finally got him out. They asked him to leave. He finally got out. But the bottom line is, if this guy had been the best voice actor I had ever seen, everything come out of his mouth gold, I wouldn't have cast him. Because
you'd have to work with that
I'm not
guy.
going to put this guy in front of my client and make me look like an idiot. So
You should have killed him and taken his pot of gold. Is what you
See,
should
now
have done.
I missed out
See,
on that
I'm
part.
thinking.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, you're
thinking
always
of
thinking,
this
Bill. That's what I love about you.
Okay. So let's just talk a little more about you here. Where exactly do you teach now these days? I want to plug all the things that you do.
Okay. The name of our classes are Adventures in Voice Acting. I teach them all over the country.
Okay.
Here in Los Angeles, I do it in conjunction with Bang Zoom Studios. They're our partners in this. So we do them here in Los Angeles. In fact, we just did a workshop this last week.
Is that in Burbank?
In Burbank,
you actually
California.
teach 'em?
Yeah,
Okay.
in Burbank, California. We teach here. We teach in New York.
You were just in Chicago,
Just
I know.
in Chicago, the Chicago Recording Company. In November, going to Seattle.
Oh,
Bad
okay.
Animals in Seattle. Sometime in February, March, we'll be in San Francisco.
Okay.
And I do them here in Los Angeles about every 3 months. We'll be back in Dallas.
And now these are the dubbing and the
Yeah,
anime.
I have 3 classes, beginning, intermediate, and advanced. The beginning is really basic.
Okay.
This is acting. This is a microphone.
Yeah. So
this is
you
what
kids
do.
out there thinking of just getting started.
Here's how
that would
you
be a good
dub.
one. Yeah.
The intermediate class is more about creating characters. So
Mm-hmm.
I have them diagram characters about the different tools that you have, music, pitch, placement,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And then we dub some more.
Okay.
Okay, because it's hard and it's.
Yeah.
And the advanced class is more of a lab.
Okay.
I do talk about. We do a mock audition, kind of running through the audition process. We do a mock game recording session because game recording is very intense.
Okay.
And very fast and very intense. So
Yeah.
I run them through that quickly, and then the end part of the day is really whatever they want to work on. If they want to work on characters for their demos or whatever,
Right.
you know, I kind of avail myself to them
Mhm.
at that point. And so that's what we have. We have 3 different classes, and we mix it up. Wherever
They don't
we
get
go.
demos at the end of a class.
No, we don't do that.
Yeah,
And we don't
because-
charge for that. So
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
you want a demo at the end of the class, you're going to pay a lot more money.
Well, but plus, should somebody really have a demo at the end of a class?
No.
I mean, yeah.
No, you need
Yeah.
to practice.
Exactly.
You need to get your stuff together before
Exactly.
you do a demo.
I'm glad to hear you say.
So, and if you're interested, if I may,
Yeah, no,
it's
give me your website.
Get on to get on the list. It's www.adventuresinvoiceacting.com/workshops.
Oh, geez, that's too much to write down. Okay, but we'll try to put it on the thing here, okay?
Right
too.
there. You're not
You
doing
realize
it, are you?
we're not doing any of that. We're never going to do it. Gio, do you know how to do that? Do you know how to do the titles?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, see. There you go. My guys don't even know how to do that. So, okay, so
And we're going to start doing workouts and things like that, not to compete with you.
No. You know what? Compete away. I mean, I think it's good that people learn from many different people out
I
there.
agree.
So,
I agree.
You know, I certainly, don't have a monopoly on the whole teaching game here in L.A. But I will say on November 9th, Tony is going to be my guest director at Margaritas, Mojitos, and Microphones. It's a fun little thing. Go on our website and check it out, voiceoverdoctor.com. You will be sharing the night with an original Ninja Turtle.
Really?
Actually, yes. Robbie Wrist.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Was Michelangelo on now that's the live action Ninja Turtles, and he was also Cousin Oliver on the Brady Bunch, but he's on a show called Doc McStuffins now, I think. So
I actually was Raphael, the voice of Raphael, when the Ninja Turtles visited the Power Rangers.
Oh, really? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I got my pizza.
Very nice. Yeah, and all those guys are, because Rob Paulson has this like Talking Tunes show now,
Yeah.
like this and stuff. So, and those guys always reunite on that show and stuff. Okay, so we're just gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
on
for
the
having
show.
me.
This has really been a pleasure, and we should have you back again just to talk about games next time. 'cause
Sure,
we really didn't
sure.
touch on.
We're going to touch on that at the Margarita Mojito night.
Margaritas,
I'm gonna bring some
mojitos.
game scripts.
So you're going to bring some game scripts. You're
Yes.
going to bring some anime scripts too.
Yeah, it's a little harder to do, but mostly.
Well,
the
we can
game
do it
stuff.
to picture.
Yeah,
We can do it to picture.
if I can
if
get
you
the
want.
picture, I got to get.
Oh,
the
okay,
picture.
all right. Okay. If you can't, I think Robbie can get something. So, so we'll do that eventually. So I want to plug a few more things here. On October 20th, I am going to be in Las Vegas, Voiceover Doctor in Las Vegas, teaching a mini margarita night. Do you want to meet me in Las Vegas and come and guest direct?
I think I'm in another.
Oh, are you?
I'll talk to you.
All right. Okay, what's up? Who
On the
knows?
spot.
We may have a guest director here. Also, October 29th, and you are invited to this if you're in town, the Halloween Voiceover Jam at Coley's Jamaican Restaurant in North Hollywood. It doesn't cost anything to come, but we ask that you RSVP. We're going to have a costume contest because it's Halloween and a naughty nurse contest. As you saw tonight, we didn't have a nurse here tonight. We didn't have a margarita gal here tonight. So, I don't know, some big ugly guy was here. But what we will have is that night at Coley's, we're gonna have a little naughty nurse costume contest. And if you want to be a contender for this show, why would you? I don't know. But you can do that. Also, I've got some audition workout classes starting November 7th. And again, I said Margarita Night with Tony and Robbie on November 9th. It's a Friday night. Sign up early because I think it's going to go fast. So again, everybody, thank you all for watching the show.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tony. And we will see you on the next Voiceover Doctor show where I'm hoping to have Robbie Wrist on. I'm not sure we can get him, but you never know when he's off drinking somewhere. Okay? I know he's singing tonight. So we'll see you later. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye. Oh, Margarita. Margarita, could you come in here, please? Oh, my gosh. Look at... Oh.
Yep. How are you? Little
Yeah.
surprise.
Yeah.
Hello.
You don't have tits or an ass or anything, really.
Well, I have an ass.
Do you?
Yeah.
Where are you keeping it?
It's harassment, sir.
Wait a minute. Don't sit down. Don't sit down.
Oh. Well,
No, I appreciate the drinks.
yeah.
All right.
Should I stand for the whole interview?
No interview. Just
This is wasted.
Awkward.
a little awkward, yeah. Okay. Tony, would you like a drink?
Oh, I'm parched.
Really? Have a drink? Oh, margarita. I have my gal Margarita come in here. Yeah. So. Oh, well, that's not. You're not Margarita.
No, I'm not.
No, not at all.
I'm Neil Flynn of Television's The Middle. Stopping by.
Don't people know you more as the janitor?
Yes,
Okay.
yes they do. People say, I like your show, and I say, which one? They say, Scrubs. I'm like, yeah, it's been 4 years. I don't know the show. Doesn't matter. Patty Eaton, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring her in. Anything for publicity.
Well, thanks for coming by, Neil.
You're welcome. I got to get over to some other ragtag cable show. Is this
Oh,
even
wait.
cable?
I'm sorry. Here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't have
Right.
change.
No, keep it this time.
Wow.
We'll
See
see
you
ya.
next week,
We'll
yeah.
see you, buddy. Okay. That's enough.
You know him, you love him, you want some more of him. The Voiceover Doctor, a real smooth talker. The Voiceover Doctor Show.